In section 3.1, you solved a system by graphing, and wherever the lines intersected, that was the solution to the system. In section 3.2, you're going to review how to solve a system algebraically. Now, you did this in Algebra 1, and you used substitution and elimination, so this should just be a review. We're going to use the substitution method today, and the way that you're going to do that is the first step is you're going to choose one equation, and you're going to solve for either x or y, and it's your choice. It doesn't really matter. Usually just choose the easiest one to solve for, and then you're going to substitute this into the other equation. Once you do that, you're going to solve for the variable. Then you'll substitute this value into one of the equations and solve for the remaining variable. You'll write your solution as an ordered pair, because remember what we're looking for is we're looking for the point that will work in both equations. Okay, so we have an example here. We're going to use the substitution method to solve. So as I look at this, what I look for a variable that has a coefficient of 1, which means, it would have 1 in front of it. So this one has a 2 in front of it, that one has a 3, that one has a -4. So I would choose this one because that's the easiest to solve for. So what we're going to do is we're going to take, and I'm going to write it over here, 2y plus x equals 4. I'm going to solve for x. So that means I'm going to subtract 2y from both sides, and that will leave me with x equals -2y plus 4. Okay, so we did step number 1, we solved for x. Now we need to substitute this into the other equation. So what I'm going to do, I am going to go to the second equation now, and I'm going to put a box around the x, just so I know where I need to plug it in. Because this is saying x is -2y plus 4. So that's going to go where the x is. So we're just going to rewrite this now. We're going to write it as 3, and I'm going to put parentheses here. When I come to the x, I'm going to write in what x equals, which is -2y plus 4. So I just replaced that. Now I have to write the rest of the equation, which is -4y, and that equals 7. Now I have an equation that just has one variable, and it had 2, but we solved for x, and now we're replacing the x with this expression. So now the next thing that we need to do, excuse me, is we need to distribute this. So that's going to give us -6y plus 12 minus 4y equals 7. We're going to combine like terms, so that will give us -10y plus 12 equals 7. And now we'll just subtract 12 from both sides. And I end up with -10y equals -5. And I'm running out of space here. I'm just going to divide both sides by -10. And I end up with y equals 1/2. Okay, now I know that y equals 1/2. I'm going to scribble this out right here, and I'm going to use this space over here to figure out what x is. Now I can substitute this value into either equation. So what I'm going to substitute it back into now, I'm going to substitute this back into our first equation, which is right here. And it's 2y plus x equals 4. So whenever I see the y, I'm going to replace it with 1/2. So we're going to say 2 times 1/2 plus x equals 4. Now this is going to equal 1 plus x equals 4. We'll subtract 1 from both sides. So x equals 3. Here's my solution area right here. I need to write that as an ordered pair. So my solution, my x is 3. Let's just write it over here. 3, 1/2. Now I'm going to check it. So in order to check it, it has to work in both of the equations, remember? So we say 2y plus x equals 4. Well, we said y was 1/2, so 2 times 1/2 plus x, which is 3. Does that equal 4? Well, that's going to be 1 plus 3 equals 4. So it works in the first one. Now we'll try it in the second one. 3 times x, and x is 3, minus 4 times y, which is 1/2. Does that equal 7? Well, let's look. 9, this is going to be 2, and it checks out. So we know that this solution is good. Okay, you have 2 problems to try. Now remember, when you're choosing what to eliminate, choose the easiest one. Like, I wouldn't choose x here. I always try to find the one that has a coefficient of 1. So I would choose either y in this equation or this equation.